So as 2025 comes to a close, I thought I would do a recap of the year video inspired by a friend of mine and a client that did a video on his YouTube, and I watched it and I actually quite enjoyed it. So I don't usually enjoy these recap things, and maybe it's because I know him that I enjoyed it, but basically I thought I'd do one because 2025 has been a very, 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 very interesting year for me. And if you don't know me, then this is probably going to be a rubbish video that holds no value and there's no point watching it. But if you do know me, then maybe you'll be interested. So let's talk about 2025. So first of all, I'll say that if I've been a bit quiet on social media, I know I put some stories up on Instagram usually and on Facebook and stuff. And I've not been doing so over the last week, which is weird because it's been Christmas, but we flew back to the UK, and partially a good chunk of why I didn't post any videos or any stories or whatever is because it was car crash bad, probably the worst Christmas ever, even though it was Cove's first Christmas, probably the worst Christmas ever because we were just ill. So it started off, I think Cove, my son, my baby boy, he's not even 1 year old, got ill, I think maybe on the plane on the way back, and he was projectile vomiting, and then Holly was projectile vomiting, and then it went through the whole family, and I got it 2 days ago, and it was awful. Luckily for me, it only lasted about 24 hours, but Holly's been basically ill for an entire week. So we basically went back to the UK to be ill all week and infect all of our family. So they were ill all week as well. So just one by one, like dropping like flies. And it was awful, like neurovirus type symptoms. So it's just horrible thing to have at Christmas. But then I've seen people saying that a lot of people are getting struck down with stuff at Christmas. So I don't know. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist at times. So I'm like, is there something to this? I don't know. But yeah, it was just car crash bad because everyone was just ill. Which sucked. So what was meant to be cool, including so I've got a team around the world, devs, support staff, people in all the different countries, but we've got a significant amount of staff in the UK, and the intention was to meet up for a Christmas party, of which was it yesterday? Day before? Not yesterday, I travelled yesterday. Day before. It meant to be a Christmas party and I was in bed sick. I had to call it off. So my business partner didn't make it. She couldn't make it. Holly was ill. She couldn't make it. My partner. I couldn't make it because I was ill. So basically, we just said to the staff, go have this meal and go have a few drinks. And that's what they did. So they all enjoyed it, I'm sure. But we didn't even get to go to our own Christmas party, which sucks. And that was one of the highlights I was looking forward to. But we had to bail on Christmas Day, or our Christmas Day meal. We cut short after an hour or two. I had to go home. It was just a mess. So disastrous Christmas, worst Christmas ever. But we did get to see family and we did get to see some friends and stuff. So wasn't all bad, but yeah, that's why I've not been very active on social media. I was never going to make loads of YouTube videos anyway, but if you wondered where my stories were, that's what's happened. We've had the worst Christmas ever, and obviously flew back to the UK, which wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but we got back to Dubai yesterday and early hours of this morning, and we've had a day just going to the coffee shop. We've had a Pete's coffee, we've had a Zuzu's, we met up with a couple of friends, and it was just a really lovely day today. So we're all fixed up. I think Cove might be a little bit ill still, but for all intents and purposes, we're all pretty much fixed up. Fingers crossed Dubai will dry out. Weather's been good. I've probably topped my sunburn up, which is cool. So yeah, that's the end of the year. It's been just tragic. This Christmas has been awful, which is a shame. The least Christmassy Christmas ever, because Dubai, as much as they do try, it's not quite the same as Christmas in the West, even though in many ways it's better. And they definitely celebrate it, but obviously there's so many cultures and nationalities and religions and stuff here that Christmas, albeit is openly celebrated here, is not a focus of theirs. So anyway, let's start back, not right at the beginning of the year, but essentially recapping my year for me to look back on, or for anybody that follows me, that's followed me for years. It's just from a friend and interested in what Matt's doing point of view. Let's just do a recap of the year. So started off, if I started off January, I was here in Dubai. I came for what was meant to be a month on my own. I was meant to rent an apartment, buy a car, change loads of stuff like driving license over and all that stuff. I was meant to get loads of admin stuff done whilst Holly was quite heavily pregnant, not ready to give birth, but quite heavily pregnant. So we was a bit risky on time. If COVID would have come super early, then I'd have been here. So I'd have had to get a flight like back within 24 hours type thing, but that didn't happen. But what also didn't happen is I didn't get anything done. And I actually really didn't enjoy my time here in Dubai. So I was here 3 weeks on my own, and I actually felt really lonely. I'm not used to being on my own. No friends, no family, no girlfriend, no kids. Like, I was just on my own here in Dubai trying to do stuff. Like I say, buying a car, renting an apartment. I didn't do any of it. I didn't get any of it done because everything's a little bit more clunky when you first get over here than you like to think it is. Like to rent an apartment, you need a checkbook, but then to get a checkbook, you kind of need an address. But then if the thing I don't know, just lots of kind of, there's lots of red tape and there's lots of pain associated with moving over here, unless you're an employee and you have somebody else deal with it for you. And now I've got some guys I would have gone to that I've recommended other people go to, and they've had a much easier experience than I did trying to do it all on my own. But I did it all on my own like a sausage, and yeah, it was painful moving to Dubai a little bit. From an admin point of view, buying a car here is not easy. You'd think it would be, because like if you've got the money, just go buy the car, but it ain't like that. Everything's got a red interior. Like, you don't know who to trust. Like, it's not filled with like consumer laws that protect you, like lemon laws in the UK. If there's anything wrong with the second-hand car in the UK, take it back within 6 months. They either fix it or give you your money back or something like that. Here, it's a little bit more Wild West. So you kind of like, and you've got cars being imported from all over around the world, and obviously they don't have history of that car. So you get people importing Cat D smashed up cars from somewhere else in the world, fixing them up, and then like nobody knows it was a Cat D car here and stuff. You've got like this underbelly of just difficult to deal with. And even if you go through like franchise dealers, that's not always painless either. Like, not at all. Again, due to defamation laws, I'm not going to call anyone out, but it's quite an experience. But anyway, I came in January on my own. I was meant to be spending a month here. I ended up going back after 3 weeks because I hated it. And I don't hate Dubai. I love Dubai. I wish I'd have moved to Dubai sooner. I couldn't, because I wanted to see my little girl grow up, and it was really important to me. And the time when I came over was the right time for everybody, including her. And she definitely gave me her blessings to kind of leave, and she's been over here a couple of times since and all that stuff. But yeah, Dubai on my own, not knowing anyone, not having anything locked down, like, did not enjoy it. Came home early. And then we had Cove, my little boy, in February. So that was exciting, really exciting. And then we was only 5 weeks between having Cove and moving to Dubai permanently, because I wanted to get here fresh for a new tax year. So how it works out here, this split tax years and all this stuff, but essentially there's something called an SRT, statutory residency test in the UK. And essentially, if you're only in the UK for less than, I think it's 15 midnights a year, you are automatically overseas residents for tax. So that's it. As far as they're concerned, in a tax year, which is, I think, 6th of April to the 5th of April, you're allowed 15 midnights in a year in the UK, and then automatic overseas residence. So no worrying about tax, man, no worrying about ties. If you spend longer, so a lot of people can spend up to 90 days in the UK, but it depends on how many ties you've got. So if you've got family there, that might be a tie. If you've got a home there, that might be a tie. If you've got business there, that might be a tie. I can't remember what the exact ties are. But essentially, the more ties you've got, the less time you can stay there. So I decided, look, instead of risking it, I will just go clean for a new tax year. So Cove was 5 weeks old, I think it was. And we moved over, just fresh, ready for a new tax year, over to Dubai and ready for summer, which was interesting. So I'd set up my business in Dubai and we'd intended on moving the year before, so not this year. In 2024, we were going to move over here. But then Ollie got pregnant with Cove and we decided, because we're an unmarried couple and how the medical insurance works here and all that stuff, and there maybe what if this happens, what if that happens, just better to just stay in the UK, have the baby and then come. So it delayed our plans last year and we ended up moving to Dubai this year. But again, I'm trying to beat a tax year so I can be statutorily non-resident for tax. So essentially automatic overseas resident, boom. So fresh, so I was trying to beat that and then obviously give it long enough in the UK for Cove not to be like a 1 week old baby and then flying with it. So I think it was 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that before we flew. But essentially this year I haven't been back to the UK other than this last week to be ill, whereby we were there for 7 days. So we're not going to go back again before April. So essentially I'll have had 7 days in this tax year in the UK, which means I'm automatically overseas resident. As far as I'm aware, I don't need a tax certificate from Dubai or anything like that. You do want to have like a tax residency, but if you have a company over here and you have like a rental contract and stuff, there's a bunch of stuff whereby if you've got X, Y, and Z, you can spend 90 days in the UAE and then you are considered a tax resident here. Or failing that, 6 months, it's a slam dunk. So if you spend 6 months in a day or whatever, and again, don't quote me in the exacts, this is roughly it, but you spend 6 months in a day, you are essentially a tax resident in Dubai. So by having no time in the UK this year, other than the last 7 days, and having over 6 months, I mean, in my case, it would have been 90 days because I've got a Dubai company and all that stuff, but 6 months is a slam dunk, but 6 months here and only 7 days there equals these will consider me tax resident here and the UK won't consider me tax resident there. So I don't want to make this all about tax and moving to Dubai and stuff, but essentially I've purposely designed it so I didn't spend any of the tax year in the UK. And thank goodness I didn't. I've never seen in my lifetime a worse government than the UK government. I'm so proud of what the UAE government do. I'm a massive fan of the UAE government, and I'm the opposite of the UK government. Labour, I didn't think it could get worse than the Conservatives. I've voted Conservatives a bunch of times and I said I will never vote Conservative again. And I said that a couple of times and I've regretted it a couple of times. It's like, no, you're not tricking me again. I will never vote Conservatives again. I know I've said it a couple of times. I just thought the opposition's so much worse. And I thought, how much worse could it be? Like, how much worse when I don't think that the Tories, the Conservatives, have even acted like a right-wing government. Not even, like, if they claim to be centre-right, okay, I'm happy with centre-right. That's fine. That's probably where I consider myself. I mean, these days, I'd be called further right than centre-right because of the way I think of things. But these media things like the BBC and the politicians and the media, mainstream legacy media, are all about painting anyone that's not far left as far right. But anyway, wherever I sit, I'm definitely right-wing. Whether it's centre-right or further that way, whatever. It depends on your definition, I guess. But I don't agree with illegal immigration. I do agree with immigration, but like the Australians used to do before they got invaded, it should be about the merits of the person. You need hairdressers, in you come. You need professors, in you come. You need whatever, mathematicians, and you're a mathematician, in you come. That's how it should be. And that's how the Australians used to do it. I'm not sure that they do it like that anymore, but that's how it should be. And I'm all right with that kind of immigration where it makes sense, in you come. But illegal immigration and mass illegal immigration, I'm really against. Which, if that makes me far right, then so be it. Because I don't think anybody illegal should come in. It's not fair for those that came into the UK legally. Just like I'm an immigrant here. You can call me an expat if you want, but I'm an immigrant here, and I came in legally. I filled in a load of forms, I paid a load of fees, and I contribute to this society. And I think the same should happen the other way. I've spoke to people here which have got British passports that are clearly not British originally, and they're even disgruntled the mess that the UK's become, because they had to do it properly, like the way it should be done. And then anyway, let's not make this about illegal immigration, but the UK government, the current one, the Labour government, is the worst government in my life, hands down, without argument. I didn't think it could get worse than how the Tories were. I thought it'd just be more of the same. No. The tyranny, the craziness, the bonkersness got turned up to maximum. And I am convinced that you can't accidentally make that many mistakes that the current UK government have made. Labour couldn't accidentally make that many mistakes, that many decisions that are bad for Britain, bad for the British people. You can't accidentally do that. So I'm 100% convinced they are controlled by the powers that be. I won't mention it here in this video, but like most people like me will probably understand who I'm talking about. But essentially, I didn't think that the UK government could get worse, and they got worse. So anyway, I escaped the UK. My blooming blink is going crazy. Like, I'm trying to make a video and it says motion detected at your drive, motion detected at your drive. And there's nothing I could do without having to edit this video, which I refuse to do. So if you see my face light up, it's because I'm being bombarded with notifications that I cannot turn off, which is really, really, really annoying. My apologies. So anyway, right. So where am I at? So came over to Dubai. It's a bumpy process, not straightforward. There was some pain attached to it, and there is purposely pain. I'm not saying they purposely make it painful this end, but they definitely make it painful to a certain extent, leaving, I think, the powers that be. But essentially, there's a lot of admin, life admin, business admin, home admin. Just moving countries is not easy. Now try moving countries with a brand new baby and essentially no support network. We knew a couple of people over here, but nobody we could leave the baby with. Like, there's no family over here or anything like that. So essentially, it was moving with the baby to a new country and having to figure it out. And I can tell you right now, I think we've lived here for 9 months or something like that now-ish. Best thing I ever did. I absolutely love Dubai. I love the UAE. Every day I feel grateful. Every day I feel motivated. Like I can't describe the lifestyle here, where the sun's shining most of the time. I'm in shorts and t-shirt on my balcony at, like, what time is it? 6:30 at night, dead of winter. Like, can't describe how much better life is here. I love it. I adore it. Holly's made friends really easily. I could make friends really easily if I was in the market to make friends, but I don't really want to be friends with civilians, as awful as that sounds, and it sounds very transactional. But if you're a client of mine, cool. You paid the price, we're good. I'm happy to chat, I'm happy to meet up. If that blossoms into a friendship, we're good. So clients, all good. If you're a business owner, if you understand the life that we lead over here, then you're my kind of person. So I'd love to meet more business owners, especially online business owners. Like, they're the kind of people I want to meet. Not because I can get something out of them, because I'm not that type of person. You know, I'd love to form genuine friendships, but I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in seeking out, I call them civilians. And there's nothing, I'm not against civilians. It's just when people aren't trying to better themselves, when people aren't striving to build a business or they're not already in business, like I've no problem with them, but oftentimes I find that they don't understand me. And you won't know what I mean if you're essentially a civilian, and I've got no problem with you. I treat people how they treat me. You know, if I ever meet you, I'll be very, very friendly to you and stuff, but essentially I'm not looking to make friends with civilians. But there's a lot of business owners over here. I've just not tried to make friends, but I've already got, as I would say, a busy friend schedule, like people wanting to meet up and all that stuff. So I'm not lonely in the slightest, even though I've moved less than a year ago to a country where I know nobody. Quite the opposite. I would say I have way more social time now than I ever did before. Living in the middle of the countryside in Lincolnshire, not knowing anyone, where our closest friends were a 40-minute drive away, you know, ish. So it's like, life is so much better in Dubai in every way, weather, just everything. I cannot describe. You'll see it online, people saying Dubai has no soul, Dubai employs slaves. What else do they say? No nature. It was all different insults a few years ago, but as Dubai fixed things, the insults changed to stuff that they think they can't fix, like the no nature thing. But I tell you right now, there's patches of green and trees popping up all over the place, and the long-term vision for Dubai is to be more, hopefully not like Singapore with the weather, because it rains every other day in Singapore, but like more luscious and stuff. It's like these guys can do whatever they set their minds to. So if they think nature will bring more people, you watch the nature pop up. It's just the nature of this place. Like, we are clients here. I see myself as a client of Dubai. I'm a customer. If I ever don't like it, I'll just leave, along with my contributions to this society. They create a very good product whereby I don't want to leave. I can't imagine having to live anywhere else. Like, I love it here so much. The lifestyle, the convenience, the weather, the taxes, just everything about this place is better. The safety. So you can see these lefties online screaming about no workers' rights, or no this, or no nature, or no soul. It's like the soul argument. They use that argument because it's subjective. Dubai has soul. But if somebody says it doesn't have soul, you can't prove them wrong. Do you know what I mean? So they use that as an attack against Dubai because it being soulless is so subjective. Even if I proved to you it has soul, you could still say, nah, it doesn't have soul. That's not soul. Like, and the nature thing, it's in the desert. So define nature. It's got sea, it's got sand, it's got birds, it's got fish, it's got grass, it's got trees, it's beautiful. Like, it's got nature, but you could say, oh yeah, but it's not got whole rolling hills covered with grass and forests and stuff and all that stuff. Like, so it's like they are literally having to pick on the things that they think Dubai can't fix, and Dubai will do its very best to fix them. But although I don't think they should, I think Dubai should accept that the people that hate on Dubai will always hate on Dubai. Which brings me to an interesting thing. I brought some silver coins back from the UK, which silver price had just spiked. And because I had a bunch of coins in my luggage, Border Force wanted to speak to me. So I actually got pulled aside, took into a little room in the airport in the UK, and spoken to about these silver coins. And this tall, not grumpy, he was all right, this tall Border Force guy was like, so why did you move to Dubai then? I'm like, have you ever been? And he did the usual, nah, it's not my cup of tea, or words to that effect. It's like, I could tell he'd made a judgment about the place. He didn't explicitly state it, but I've had that conversation enough to know. He made a judgment about Dubai, having never been here. And 95% of the abuse that Dubai gets on social media comments, I mean, I'm convinced there's some kind of troll attack because there's tax base erosion in the West, and they could see millionaires, even middle class, fleeing to safer, better lifestyles here in Dubai. So they've got to do something about it. So I'm not convinced it's not AI bot farms, a lot of it, but you see the abuse that Dubai gets on social media, and 95% of them have never even been to Dubai. They've just made their mind up that they don't like it. And I think a lot of the time, if I'm being honest, it's because it's a Muslim country and they've just decided they don't like it because it's a Muslim country. But it's a very tolerant Muslim country. So whatever you think about Muslims, whether you think they're good or think they're bad, like the Muslims that are here, all of them, from what I can tell, are good. And I know there's always bad eggs, but if there is, they root them out and they don't allow them to stay. So whatever negative connotations you have about Muslims, well, they're not here. They're not in Dubai. And it's a very tolerant, very open society, Dubai is. It's very, they allow things, Western culture that must have been very difficult for them to allow, given their traditions and their culture and their religion and all that stuff. It would have been very difficult for them to allow them, but they do. It's a very, very tolerant place. And I've seen UAE high up people, the highest level people here, wishing people a Merry Christmas. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so whatever you think about Muslims or whatever you think about this country, because it's a Muslim country, or you've heard that, oh, if you hold hands on the beach, you're going to get locked up for 10 years and beheaded. Like, it's just not a thing. It's so tolerant and so easygoing. It's very much live and let live here. I'm not saying you can't get into trouble here. You can. But if you behave yourself and don't be a blooming idiot, then you're not going to have any problems here. And actually life is a lot freer and better here in every metric. And I can say that having lived here almost a year, it's just better in every metric. The only reason to stay in the UK is because you've got friends and family there and you can't bear to be away from them. Everything else is better here. If you're broke, if you're unemployed, if you're maybe disabled and on benefits or something like that, then this is not the place for you, because ultimately you're on your own. You eat what you kill here. If you can afford to live here, it's the best lifestyle you'll find anywhere. If you can't afford to be here and you're expecting handouts, it's not the place for you. There are no handouts, not for non-citizens. You're not going to get any handouts. There's nothing for free here. You pay your own way, which means everyone here is trying to get a better life. But anyway, I don't want to make this all about Dubai and stuff. But anyway, we had a baby and we moved to Dubai, and I did all the painful stuff, bought a car, rented an apartment, all that stuff, did all that stuff, and we've settled in. Like I say, we've got some friends here. I feel more motivated here. I feel better about life here. Just feel more in tune with this place. This place feels more, I resonate more with Dubai than I do with the UK and what it's become. Go back 30, 35 years, 40 years ago, maybe it's a different story, but the trajectory of the West, especially the UK, as what I consider to be right now a centerpiece of globalist tyranny. Dubai is hands down just a better place. If you can escape and move to Dubai, I urge you to escape and move to Dubai. This place is awesome. Even if at first you don't love it or there's a few bumps and bruises, it's awesome. I love it. And if you can move here, honestly, I would consider it. So yeah, moved to Dubai, set up a new business, so which has been going well. And basically what happened this year, and the biggest, I would say the hands down biggest thing that's happened this year is AI coding. I call it AI SAAS. Some people call it vibe coding, but essentially AI agents got so good at coding that now they're better than most coders. In fact, they're faster and cheaper than all coders. Faster and cheaper for sure, and better than 99% of coders. So there's still going to be top 1% that genius coders that can beat AI, but they're not going to be faster than AI, and they're not going to be cheaper than AI. So you've got AI that's faster, cheaper, and in 99+% of cases better than the human equivalent. So coding software has changed, and now I've spent the last something like 8 years in my spare time selling software as a service, which is subscription-based online software that solves a problem for a particular type of customer. And I've done that in my spare time, made over $12 million doing it. And now with AI agents, I'm using AI agents to create in like 1 to 2 months what would have took 2 to 3 years and would have been hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now in 2 months you can create it for about $200. Like, the game's changed. And what I do, because obviously I've got a unique perspective of having been a digital marketer, done over $23 million online in my spare time, most of that, for the past 23 years, alongside owning a nightclub and other businesses like that. But I've basically sold online for over 2 decades, had online businesses for all of my adult life, near enough, and yeah, SaaS for the last 8 years-ish. And now AI can now build SaaS. So I just figured I'm in the perfect position to now help normal people to do what they couldn't do a year ago. So a year ago, you couldn't build SaaS, a SaaS company. It was out of your reach, because you'd had to have a technical background, you had to have a marketing background, a sales background, you had to understand business and entrepreneurship and outsourcing. You had to have so many skills, and then you had to have deep pockets or learn to code, and you had to spend years going into the red and losing money before you even had a chance of selling anything and making any money. So it's just like, for most people, 99.9% of people, it's just not even worth, as a business, not even worth looking at. But this year that changed, and now it's not 300 grand in 3 years, it's 2 months and $200. That's what it's turned into. And my clients, because I also coach people how to do this, my clients are building software with no code using AI that I can tell you right now, a year ago was fantasy. It would have been a miracle to do it, and now they are performing miracles. They are creating software using AI, which I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. It's crazy, and it's only going to get better. So that presented itself with the biggest opportunity of my life, my adult life, of all the opportunities I've seen and done, like Shopify dropshipping, Amazon FBA, print on demand, online course selling, affiliate marketing, and all these other like little business models that I've tried online over the years and made okay or really good money in. This one is by far the best one, and the barriers to entry have disappeared as of this year. So 2025 was the birth of AI coding well enough that anybody can become a no-code SaaS founder with no tech knowledge. So all you need to know now is you need to decide on a problem to fix, get AI to create a solution for that problem, create a sales process to give away free trials for that solution, and then get market visibility. So I've been digital marketing my entire adult life, so I understand all about like sales and marketing and visibility and all that stuff. Got a massive skill set in that way. Here's the notifications coming up again. Amazing. I've got this huge skill set, but in the software as a service space, which I've been doing in the last 8 years. So it seemed a perfect thing to marry up my skills of over 2 decades selling online with software as a service, which I've been selling for almost the last decade. So it's like, and now you can do it, normal people can do it. So essentially I can be your guide or your mentor to show you how to do what I've done for the last 8 years with deep pockets and a big skill set. Now in a couple of months or so, yourself on your own with a few $100s and just a bit of tenacity and grit and making some good decisions. Like, so I started a business doing that, and it's gone really well. 2026, it's going to go even better. This is the year where I scale it up. Well, that's the intention. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoy working with people and coaching them and mentoring them. It's a real passion project of mine, and there's decent money in it. So yeah, that's what I've been doing with my Dubai company, building SaaS and helping other people build SaaS businesses. So that is the bulk of the recap for 2025 for me. Horrified by the government in the UK, moved to Dubai, best thing I ever did. Started a SaaS company because it just makes sense. I've been selling online my whole adult life and SaaS for almost the last 10 years, coming up for 10 years. Combine the two with AI, now normal people can get rich doing that. Now, I've had my mentorship and coaching program closed down for December because I knew I was traveling and I didn't really want to be working in December. Not on this anyway. So I closed it down, just servicing my current clients. But I will be reopening it. Did you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. I'll be reopening it in the next few days. So my intention is maybe on the 2nd of January, but there's a wait list right now. You can click the link down below, the Work with Matt link. You can add yourself to that wait list and then you'll be the first one to know when I open up new slots. I only currently work with 3 new people maximum per month, sometimes less, but never more than 3. So it will be first come, first served. And there's a bunch of people on that waiting list. But if you want to join the waiting list, when you get on there, you can, when I open it up, I'll email you first before I make a video about it, and then you can jump on a call with me. And if we seem like a good fit and it makes sense and I can help you, then potentially you can join my mentorship program and I can show you how to build the best business model that's happened in my whole adult online career for normal people to actually potentially get rich, but definitely make 5, 10K a month type earnings. Like, I want to say very easily. Again, earnings disclaimer, I never promise any money, but like I'd be shocked if you don't do the work and get to 5, 10K a month. Shocked, very passive, literally 24/7, and it compounds over time because each month, people that was customers last month pay again, so you get more people, like Netflix subscriptions, you know what I mean? You pay every month, it's the same with SaaS. So anyway, that is my recap. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Let me know if you've got any thoughts on it. And yeah, let's see what happens in 2026. I hope your new year goes well, and I hope you had a better Christmas than I did. 2026 is exciting. The year of AI SaaS. Speak soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.